Greetings to you, Crocoduck Army. Well, here we are in the wacky world of President-elect Donald Trump. After every presidential election, the party who loses assembles a rhetorical circular firing squad, and they all destroy each other before getting back together and fighting to take back what they lost. I don't want to bring a virtual cannon to the firing squad, but I think at least maybe a virtual pellet gun would be appropriate. First of all, the majority of Bernie supporters voted for Hillary, and I want to acknowledge that. It was the logical thing to do, even though I know they felt wronged. I don't necessarily agree with that assessment, especially in a race that was not as close as Bernie supporters seem to think it was, but it's a little late to relitigate that now. What was not helpful was the millions of Bernie supporters who voted for Obama but did not vote for Hillary, even knowing the risks of a Trump presidency and the open Supreme Court seat. Total turnout was down to several million to historic low levels, and that's not surprising when so many liberals put a knife in Hillary's back at every turn and called her the lesser of two evils 24/7. None of that would have mattered, though, if not for James Comey. 2 weeks before the election, Hillary had just finished completely decimating Trump in all 3 debates. She had all the momentum, and Trump was a national laughingstock, a petulant child with a Twitter account with no chance of winning. Polling was showing Hillary with a real chance to win Arizona, or maybe even Georgia. Then, with 11 days to go, Republican FBI Director James Comey sent that letter to Congress about reopening the investigation, and the Trump campaign roared back to life. Hillary had to once again defend herself on the emails, and once again the specter of more investigations hung over her head. By the time she was cleared again, less than 48 hours before the election, the damage was done, and her 7 or 8 point lead had plummeted down to about 2 points, which was within the margin of error for a loss on Election Day. She still won the popular vote, but she narrowly lost critical states that cost her enough electoral votes to lose the election. Without Comey's letter, that election was as good as done. People have extremely short memories when it comes to politics, though. Now people seem to just pin her loss on whatever character trait they think she lacked enough of, as if she were running in the election to be her grandmother. The pundit class is now admonishing liberals to try and understand rural white voters better, which I'm completely in favor of, by the way. I don't want us to treat rural whites like Trump treats minorities and women, 2 groups which voted against Trump overall. However, I don't recall rural white voters trying to understand liberals after Obama won twice. In fact, I recall Trump himself inciting them to believe that Obama was actually born in Kenya. Even to this day, 43% of Republicans believe Obama is a secret Muslim. I think common ground is going to be difficult there. The loss was a very narrow one, so Trump is already vulnerable in 2020. Once you're ready to start thinking about how to oppose what is likely to come from a Trump presidency, get involved and engaged. If Trump stays unpopular, Democrats will have a chance to take back the House in 2018. The Senate will be a tall order because of which seats are in play, but there are a lot of vulnerable Republican governors, and you need to pay attention to those governors' races because of redistricting in 2020. If you don't know what redistricting is, please look it up. Oh, and this little tidbit will be of great interest to all of you anti-SJWs and anti-feminists in the atheist community who see fighting these issues as very important to our country's future. Did you see these exit polls listing the top issues for voters in the election? Did you realize how far in the forefront of minds of voters those issues were? Pew Research, for instance, took an inventory of the top 14 issues as reported by voters, and those issues were actually number... let's see... oh, I guess they're not there at all. Wait, maybe they're under political correctness. Donald Trump talked a lot about that. Let's see... no, that's not there either. That can't be, though. All of the most popular YouTube atheists have talked about it constantly for years. Or maybe it could be that these issues are mind-numbing garbage that are just our version of the Kardashians, because talking about more important and complicated issues is hard. That nonsense would be important if the human race lived only in YouTube and Tumblr, but most of us don't. Most of us live in the real world. Do we actually want to make a difference and shape the real world into something better? I certainly do. So let's start by fighting for issues that really matter.